Alright, so with Jujutsu Kaisen's ending, we've already seen a great decision in GEGE bringing back Nobara. Should it have happened earlier? Absolutely. But the point is, we got it. So once again this week, I gotta say, I'm just surprised. Surprised that GEGE has been able to, for now, get back control of this crazy plane ride from hell. Maybe he just doesn't want to be compared to MHA's ending. As well, can we get this video to 200 likes? Can we do it? I think we can. So after the KO punch from Yuji, we see Megumi and Sukuna talking. Sukuna, interestingly, tries to, once again, break down Fushiguro by asking him how long he will lower his face to bear living. And he tries to convince him to essentially give up, that trying is useless because of all of what has happened to him. In other words, he's trying to show Fushiguro that because of the destruction and death that laid bare before him, that he has nothing to return to. He has nothing to live for, and he will never live a decent life again. Which is interesting if you think about it. Fushiguro, with all that's happened to him, can't really live a life that's ideal any longer. So much has occurred that it will probably affect him forever. However, even Sukuna is afraid to die, and since there is only one fragment left, if the 19 fingers disappear, then he won't be able to keep the soul connected, and thus Sukuna will cease to exist with Megumi. And this allows Fushiguro to have some sort of moment of post-Sukuna clarity, you could say, where he acknowledges that he never from the start lived the right way, and that he was selfish for not seeing that there are other people in this world besides himself. So having that moment where he realizes his selfishness, he says that it's time to try living for someone else. In other words, Fushiguro has completed his character arc, realized the error of how he lived prior, and is now taking ownership of that and moving forward to a new chapter in his life. In other words, well, chapter 269. As we see Fushiguro separate from Sukuna, he tries to swallow him back whole in this horribly low-res, pixelated looking blob. These are leaks, so it is what it is, of whatever. As you guessed it, Yuji stuffs out the final remnants of Sukuna and Megumi, putting an end to that unholy alliance. And it's here, you guys. After all of these years, after the constant back and forth battles, the ups and downs in the fandom, Sukuna is stopped and Fushiguro is seemingly saved. Once again, I'm impressed. GEGE so far has been handling this ending really well, like too well. So maybe when GEGE said he's planned an ending to satisfy everyone, maybe we should definitely believe him on that. If this holds, then I mean, good on him. So channeling Oasis, because you know they're coming back, Yuji says, "How's it going to be?" Huh? That's a lyric from an Oasis song. He continues on Sukuna, and he tells him that Sukuna is a part of him, that they were born to carry a curse without notice. So what kind of monster they'll be is a matter of luck. The previous monster in his life was his grandfather, but he's willing to try again with Sukuna, to not curse someone, but instead to use their lives to live with someone else, even if he won't be accepted. After all, Sukuna is the only thing Yuji has. He's essentially both appealing to Sukuna's better angels, which he killed and ate for funsies, I guess, but also laying down the law with him. He's got no other options. He's cooked, like he cooked his better angels. So either way, this is how he must live from now on. So it's a nice end to Sukuna, because this is a character that has been the pinnacle of evil. He's pretty much an abomination. So I think GEGE was pretty clever here to have his punishment be to live as a part of Itadori and atone through helping others with him, to live for somebody else, which is the theme of this character overall, I think. I'm sure the thought of doing charity probably horrifies Sukuna, but he's gonna need to pick up a wooden spoon and get to stirring the stew, which, by the way, don't want to preach, but try it out. It's some really rewarding work. I also love the fact he says, even if nobody will accept you. It's another double-edged entendre of sorts, which once again is a reward for people like Itadori and Fushiguro, but a punishment for one like Sukuna. As well, Itadori's statements call back to his character's guilt because of what Sukuna did in his body. Found that really interesting. Instead of blaming it on Sukuna and seeking justice to clear his name, he still remains consistent from the Shibuya incident and seeks his own penance. Just another example of religion that GEGE loves to permeate Jujutsu Kaisen with, and one of his strongest assets in the story, in my opinion. But even so, Sukuna commends him, but reminds him he is a curse. To me, This is a metaphor for the sins we carry as people, obviously metaphorically speaking. That's why I said it was a metaphor. We may try to turn the page and move on from something, but you can't run from what will inevitably weigh you down. After all, he is a curse. To me, that's some brilliant writing. All right, you guys, Jujutsu Kaisen has its own gamer subs flavor, which is my personal favorite. And since I'm a partner, using code CTactics will get you 10% off all of your orders, along with tomorrow's new day and night drop, which has a bunch of firsts for gamer subs, like an exclusive bomber jacket, a new flavor, and a waifu cup. Thank you to gamer subs for being one heck of a sexalicious partner. So we finally get our conclusion to Arame and Hakari as well. Why did I say Hakari's name like that? Which, you know, just saying, No. I'll wait till after I break down the scene to give you my thoughts. So Urame tells Hakari that they're lucky because they were saved for not being born 1,000 years after him. To which Hakari, with that cool smirk that landed him Hoshi, whew, you're only lucky, huh? That's the best compliment for someone like me. And Arame deteriorates and goes away with a smirk much like Hakari's. And once again, I'm impressed. Now, admittedly, my expectations for the outcome of Hakari and Urame were tenuous, to say the least. I still like how this ended up, even though GEGE could have done so much more with, well, both of these characters. I think this is easily the worst part of the chapter, but I also like it too because I think no matter what, this was actually the way the fight should have ended, at least thematically, even if it was done perfectly. I just think we should have seen more from them is all. I think that was the only issue. And it's a shame we didn't. Hopefully that'll be something they add in the anime. I hope. So, Fushiguro wakes up in his bed as Itadori is wheeling Nobara around in a box? By the nines, what the hell were they doing in there? Anyways, they're trying to do a Nobara is alive as a doornail prank, whatever. What the heck is a doornail prank? Am I just too old or too young? I don't know. I don't know who does a doornail prank. Okay, well, Nobara is pretty surprised the Madonna from her class is alive, and they just kind of wrap up and give us a nice fan service moment between the three. But they have a letter from Gojo-sensei that Ieri saved meant for Fushiguro and Nobara. And obviously, of course, Itadori didn't need one. He kind of talked to Gojo. But for Nobara, her letter was information on her mother, where she is and what she's doing, and Nobara really couldn't care less about it at all, which is pretty much in her character. But when Nobara says she doesn't care, of course, she ends up wondering if she became a special grade authority. So there is some curiosity here from Nobara, even though she seemingly tries to hide it. It's kind of cute. But for Fushiguro, it's the same as Nobara, also cute. He says, hey, unfortunately, your daddy is not around anymore, Megumi. Because I killed him. My bad. This guy, even in death, he is the most unserious of them all. Either way, I think this was a nice bit of levity to it. A bit of dark humor that helped lift the mood a bit, even though it was dark humor. It's also an objective fact, too. He kind of did put a hole through Toji. So they decide to leave and reunite with Maki and the others, except Yuta has gotten himself into a bit of trouble. Now my guess is that it must be something good for Yuta. Maybe they were able to transfer Rika into Gojo's body and Yuta back into, well, Yuta. Or heck, maybe Gojo is somehow alive, which I'm not sure how people would even feel about that outside of Gojo simps, and they're all surprised or something about it. Maybe Gojo and Yuta are stuck inside the same body, and it's just like some, I don't know, some buddy cop drama. I don't know. I feel like whatever GEGE decides to do here will be another joyous occasion, which I think is the right call. We'll just have to see. Let me know your thoughts on Jujutsu Kaisen Chapter 268 leaks down in the comments below, and thank you so much for watching, everyone. If you're new, I talk about Jujutsu Kaisen, I talk about One Piece, and soon we'll be talking about a new series on the channel, along with my regular stuff like Attack on Titan and crying into a pillow. Thank you, everyone. Have a good day. Bye-bye.